justice when I was 13. On a February night, my dad went to the pub with his friends and never came home. He'd been the victim of a one-punch assault. Hit once and he was dead before he hit the ground. He was just 35 years old. Across the years, I've done a lot of research and campaigning around one-punch assaults and have met dozens of families who've been affected by these crimes. The circumstances involved can be very varied, but there's one thing that unites them all. They all feel the criminal justice system is too lenient and the sentences are too low. Sentencing has been in the media a lot recently, with several high-profile appeals for changes in sentences. Wayne Couzens, the despicable murderer of Sarah Everard, recently appealed his whole life sentence, hoping for it to be reduced. Thankfully, his appeal was rejected, and rightfully, in my view, he will spend his entire life behind bars. The two killers of 6-year-old Arthur Lavinia Hughes also had their sentences reviewed. Emma Tustin's did not change, but the young boy's father, Thomas Hughes, had his term increased from 21 to 24 years, with the initial sentence deemed unduly lenient by the Court of Appeal. Triple murderer Jordan Monaghan, who killed 2 of his children and his new partner, had been handed a minimum 40-year life term, but saw this increase to 48 years by the Court of Appeal. These are for some of the most serious crimes, but for the victims of lesser crimes, the short sentences handed out can feel unjust and insulting. Claire Fulcher witnessed her partner Ian be struck by a single punch before he died 4 days later. As part of my all-party parliamentary group on one-punch assault, she spoke to us of her horror when the assailant, Jake McFarlane, was sentenced to just 2 years after admitting manslaughter. Add to that fact that many people in prison can be released at the halfway mark, serving just half their term behind bars, and it's no wonder that some victims feel let down. Thankfully, the unduly lenient sentence scheme exists for the most serious crimes, with victims or their families able to appeal sentences for review. Claire was able to successfully appeal, and the sentence for her partner's killer was almost doubled to 3 years and 8 months. But should the initial sentences themselves not reflect the severity of these crimes? And is less than 4 years really enough punishment for taking a life? So our question today is, are we, as a country, too soft on crime?